it's Nikki. Happy full moon day. So the day after the strawberry full moon. So today's message is all about homecoming. And so what I just wanted to share is yesterday we had the message about the bull, and that was very, that came through in somebody's healing. So it was very powerful, that analogy about basically the centuries. If you think about the tradition of bullfighting, that bulls are naturally go for the red flag. And actually in the healing, what was under the red flag that was held by the divine feminine was a cupcake saying love. Because actually we are changing that. So those centuries of where men have felt hurt and couldn't trust women, then we're changing all of that, because obviously all those are changing. And actually we were feeding, in that healing, it was about feeding them with love. And so they could release, and so yesterday's, in everyone's healings yesterday, if you didn't receive your healing right up, you'll receive it today. But it was very much about releasing all from the past, basically. It was very much a shedding of everything from the past to be able to step into the new. And so the message for today, and the other thing is that bullfighter, the lady came back to me and she said, oh my goodness, my twin is a Taurus. And I think she said he had a bull tattoo or something. And she has a bull talisman necklace. So she said, I was so pleased to see that, because I knew straight away. And that's what's so powerful, because you will always see something directly from your souls, basically, to let you know that the healing is coming directly from your higher selves, right? So so if you want to have a healing, it's only £20, and I'm doing package offers as well. So if you buy 2, you get 3. If you buy 3, you get 4. If you buy 4, you get 5. 5, you get 6. 6, you get 7. And then if you buy 8, you get 10. You get 2 free. And the shift in energies is quite amazing. So the transition sort of from moving between, you know, basically a bear with a sore head, or, you know, this kind of, you know, to really see the progression to moving into a teamwork situation, to then moving into, you know, releasing everything, to let it go, to be able to move on, to shed skin, basically. So the message today is actually from a divine masculine. Somebody sent me this, and it is a elephant journal article that's been written. And it's just so in keeping for today, because it is very much about what I saw yesterday in the healings around the divine masculine side of feeling like they've been fearful of loving because they haven't been able to trust themselves, or, you know, because of this carrying centuries of energy around not being able to trust women. And so the other thing is about this. The new Spider-Man film is out. I saw a trailer for this when I went to see Wonder Woman. It is called The Homecoming. Now, again, this is going full circle, because we had a Spider-Man message coming through a long time ago, which came through from somebody's healing. And it was the Spider-Man kiss, the very infamous one, where they were hanging upside down. Now, again, to me, straight away, that's like the hanged man. And they're coming out of that hanged man status. They've had to have been in that hanged man to tap into themselves, tap into their souls, tap into, you know, open up their hearts. And so now they're coming home. So, again, a perfect message for today. And very much what I've been seeing in healings as well. All this sense of, you know, they want to come home, but there's things that, you know, that are stopping them at the moment. But they're very much there with you. You know, that's the other thing to remember. Well, I'm going to read this article because he says it perfectly as well. So, I saw something the first time I looked into her eyes, and it was the entire universe. I could see the past and the future, and I could see eternity. I could see myself. I had come home. And that's written by Rich Wright. So I had been around for a while, and I'd had a lot of life experience, a couple of former wives, and many other lovers throughout my 40-something years. And although I fell in love a few times, at least with what I thought love felt like, nothing could come close to how I felt with her. I compared it to the birth of my children. The way their little eyes looked back at me was a look from God that every parent knows. I saw that in her eyes the first time I looked into them, and it was magical. But I saw much more too, and that focus confused me as much as it excited me. If I had to describe it, it would be like the feeling you get when you're completely connected to the divine on every level. It was like I had found what I had been searching for my whole life. I could rest in the knowing that my search was over. It was like discovering at last an essential missing part of me. It was indeed like coming home. And for the first few months, strange things occurred that I couldn't understand. Very early on during our small misunderstanding, she said something that made me think she wasn't into growing the relationship. I reluctantly agreed that we would part ways, and after all, we only knew each other a week or so. We hardly had a relationship at all. Exactly what happened to me and mine. But that night, as I tossed in my bed unable to sleep, I had the deepest sense of sadness and loss I had ever experienced. I remember walking out on the deck, looking up at the stars and being angry at the universe for letting me feel that way. I was crushed beyond anything I can imagine, and it made no sense whatsoever. How could I feel this way about a woman I just met? I cried my eyes out. And somewhere in that altered state of dreams and reality, I knew something that I didn't want to know, that I had met my twin flame. So for the next 8 years, I went back and forth between a mystical sense of euphoria and bliss and a state of hopelessness, despair, and unimaginable loss. The highs were the highest of highs, and the lows were darkness and depression like I had never known. Mixed in with all of it were circumstances that would have made most people certifiably nuts. I got sick for 4 years and finally lost my colon. She lost a house and her life savings, and somehow through all of it, we stayed together. Sure, we parted a couple of times, but we always ended up giving in to the pain and suffering brought on by being apart. Being apart was worse than being miserable together. Together, we were either thoroughly connected or pushing each other's buttons like nothing you can imagine. It was black and white, but my God, were we experienced nirvana when we were connected. It was like time faded away and the whole world turned in on love itself. Nothing could faze us. We danced upon heavenly ground, inundated by divine sights and sounds written in fairy tales and only experienced by angels. She left again several weeks ago. The pain was too great. And I guess the greatest pain included the things she didn't want to see day after day. The things I showed her by being the mirror that I am. It's no different the other way round. She shows me the things I don't want to see, the ugly parts of me I need to heal and overcome in this lifetime. For me, the same incredible agony that I first experienced is back. It's ugly tears within striking distance. I sit for countless hours trying to decide what to do to overcome the misery that has become so familiar. And, as usual, I wonder if she's ever coming back, knowing that she can't stay away for too long. There is a pull that is beyond the knowledge of man, that drags us toward each other time and time again. No matter what stands in its path, it will find us everywhere and anywhere. It calls out our name in the dark silence of the night and beckons us to let go of what's holding us back from what we know is our destiny. The force is love, and I know of nothing stronger and more determined. I used to say that love always finds a way, wishful words that come to me in my despair through vivid dreams and promise their truth. Love is the only truth that I know, so I surrender again to love and to truth. A lot has been written about the twin flame relationship, and I have studied it extensively lately. I believe I experience most of what has been written. There is always one twin who stays and another who runs. I am the one that stays. I don't hear much about the twin that runs, maybe because, like me, the one that stays is the one that writes. As I look over the past 8 years, I have come to realise that I've messed with destiny, if there is such a thing, and somehow I manipulate her back into my life time after time. I also realise that no matter if she's with me or not, wherever she is suffering as much as me. And then it hit me, compassion instead of manipulation. There is no doubt that we are twin flames. It couldn't be anything else. We are part of each other. I forgot to put aside myself and remember that, no matter what, we will always be deeply connected. It has always been that way, and it will always be. If you are the one who stays, the hardest thing is to know that he or she is not with you. But the truth is that they are very much with you, always. Let this beautiful, painful, divine relationship go with the knowing that it will always come back. And trust that the universe knows what it is doing, and as hard as it may be, let go. I called her, and her experience told her that I was trying to charm her back in again. She was wrong this time. I felt the energy shift much like it would have after the predator leaves the forest. I told her 3 words that came to me from another place. 3 words she never expected but exemplified the meaning of compassion. 3 words that set both of us free to let the universe have control again. 3 words that have always blocked her from me. Words that would let her start healing what she needed to heal, much like myself. I said the 3 words she most wanted to hear, and I said them with love. I support you. And as we hung up, I imagined the sound of her heart and wings beating together as she flew away. Ooh, and that is by Rich Wright. So, you know what? That is why it just shows you that, that is why it's so important to get your energies balanced and to do your healing before you come together. Because he's so right. If you do that journey and you're the mirror and you try to stay in that situation to do the healing, I mean, it's just, just what his experience has been. It's been incredibly, incredibly painful. So as much as it is in this separation, that's when you have to, why it's the thing of focusing on your heart connection, because your heart is where your soul is. And when your soul is where your twin is. And so there is no sense of separation. So that's why you know that you're doing this journey together. And then to trust that the universe will bring it all together when the time is right for your union. And so rather than doing this pushing, pulling, and kind of this desperate feeling, it's just about knowing that it's not time yet. It's just not time. Your homecoming will happen in the right time for you when you've gone through your healing, right? When you found out more and more and more of your soul journey together, when you found out when your soul song can sing really loudly and in melody and harmony with each other, that is the time when your homecoming can happen. So, beautiful words from this guy. I wish them the very best, and I hope that their twin flame relationship comes back in soon. But thank you to the person that sent me that. Thank you to everyone that's coming to me for healing and to join the crystal grid and to come for me for energy reads. The card that I pulled today is this. Oh my God, look at that. Angel of Love. Remember, this is what you are. The song for today is the one from Deadpool, which is the Angel of the Morning. And so that's the song. All right, take care. Have a good one. Bye.